Hi guys, Songboy13, and it's our time of month again, where we look ahead into next month's weather. Although technically speaking, today's the 23rd, so it's quite a bit later than past months. But hey, I do whatever I want. So anyways, well, so far, before we go into July, June so far has been actually quite a somewhat extraordinary month. We started the month, or the beginning of June, the first 2 days was very warm, temperatures close to mid-20s, and then the fortnight brought in some very wet weather and temperatures disappointingly cold. Then in the third week we've had warm and humid weather, and we've had constant number of thunderstorms in our region for some 5 consecutive days in a row. And then this week it's going to be heatwave conditions, so it's literally we've had everything this month in the UK. That doesn't often happen though. It might turn a bit cooler by the last few days of June again, but let's go ahead into July. What can we expect for July 2020? Well, after the heat wave that we're going to have this week, it's looking quite unlikely we'll be seeing some big heat spikes throughout July 2020. I think chances for another heat wave occurring next month is probably less than 20%, if I'm going to be honest with you. But there will be plenty of warm days, especially into the middle of the month. But I wouldn't say it's going to be record-breaking hot days. Mostly temperatures around the mid-20s mark. I think for one or two places, maybe you're lucky enough to get into the high 20s. But there is going to be some spells of rain at times pretty much throughout the month of July, although there will be some dry interludes. I think especially towards mid-July as well. So, what's this summary for July 2020 likely to be? Sunshine totals will be likely to be close to, if not a little bit above average, so a sunny July potentially for quite a few of you. Rainfall totals will also be very close to average, so shouldn't be as wet as last July. Some places in the UK have had a pretty wet one this time last year. Hopefully it won't be the case this July. And temperatures probably likely to be just a tad warmer than average, not quite as warm as the last July as well, and certainly not as warm as 2018, but I think towards mid-month, some good days to look forward to. Anyways, let's go through details week by week, beginning from the first week as always. I've actually been trying to find a decent spot, so you can see me clearly. Anyways, I'm going to be in this position today. Also, I've been walking all day, so I can't be bothered to stand up. So anyways, if you can see me clearly, so let's go through details week by week. So, you know what, let's get a bit closer. This looks awkward in the distance. There we go, that's better. So, from the first week of July, well, it begins on a Wednesday this year, and to begin July, after the heatwave conditions we're going to have this week, it's likely to be quite a bit cooler and possibly slightly wetter to begin the first few days of July. So the weather's going to be quite changeable. I think there will be some dry interludes, and I think maybe for a time towards middle of next week, temperatures will be at its warmest to low 20s, but I think temperatures mostly throughout next week possibly may struggle. We might just reach into the teens at the very best, so certainly not going to be anywhere near as hot next week. So I would say a very changeable theme because we've got low pressure nearby next week. The winds will be mostly out of westerly, but it's not always going to be warm, so when it rains temperatures are going to be quite low. When it's dry it will be a bit warmer, low 20s, but overall it's certainly much more unsettled with a mixture of sunny spells and some rain or showers at times, some of which could be thundery occasionally. Now as we approach into the first weekend of July, this will be a very interesting one because that's where we just learned today that pubs and restaurants, cinemas, you know what I mean, are going to be reopening from Saturday the 4th of July. The weather's not looking particularly great, unfortunately, to welcome the shops and pubs and restaurants reopening its doors, because weather's staying a bit unsettled and quite a bit cool as well. Temperatures could actually struggle, high teens at the very best, with some showery northwesterly flows, so temperatures could be a bit below average for the first weekend of July. Some dry spells, but actually quite a lot of cloud and some spells of rain at times, so it's not going to be like a summer theme, unfortunately, when it's reopening, which is a little bit disappointing. But it does look like towards the second week of July, I think initially we're still going to see low pressure systems close by, so some showers or rain at times, maybe the odd minor thundery one. Temperatures are going to initially stay below average, temperatures still into the teens, but it looks like higher pressure will be coming in from the south towards the middle of the second week of July, let's say from Wednesday onwards, roughly around that time. Pressure will be rising towards most of the UK. Any showers or rain will be killed off. Pressure's rising, it kills off any low pressure systems towards the UK, and the conditions will settle down for a couple of days towards the middle of next week. The wind direction is going to be interesting, but it's quite likely that we're not going to quite get direct southerly towards the middle of the second week. More of a southwesterly or a bit of an easterly depending on the wind direction. Temperatures will be a bit higher, maybe close to the mid-20s, low to upper 20s most places, so it's not going to be as hot as it will be a couple of weeks ago, but some decent weather at times, so it will be settling down towards the second week of July. A little bit changeable again towards the second weekend. Initially, well, more briefly, low pressure will be close by. We may bring in some showers scattered about towards the region. Temperatures will be closer to average, so we're not going to get like a northwesterly. We're probably going to get some showers coming in from the west or the southwest as we get some low pressure systems close by towards the UK, but it's not going to be slap bang over us, we think. So staying a bit showery. Well, showers return towards the second weekend, 11th and the 12th July, but there will be some sunny spells. The temperatures will be into the low 20s, so still not feeling too bad. I think the third week will be at its warmest weather towards the whole of the month. Pressure will be rising once again. It will be a brief interlude of showers, and then that kills off. Timing's always a bit uncertain. It looks like the first half of the third week, high pressure will be close by. We may get a warm southwesterly, it's maybe close to a southerly. It's not going to be a strong high, and it's not going to scoop up that much of hot air, so I would say rather warm than hot. So mid-20s with plenty of sunny spells towards the third week, but a lot of dry weather, plenty of sunshine as well, so that's certainly not to be sniffed at. So as because the days are still really long at that time of the year, so of course if you're off on your summer break, certainly make the most of it. But it looks like towards the end of the third week of July, areas of low pressure will be kicking. The jet stream's going to be packing a punch once again, so that's going to steer in some more quite unusually powerful low pressure systems towards the time of the year for midsummer. So temperature's going to be becoming a much cooler period, with some heavy rain at times, possibly some thundery showers to break down the warmth. So it's likely possibly the end of the third week it could turn much wetter, much cooler and wetter. The third weekend of July, the weather was going to be staying a little bit mixed, but I think temperatures will quickly recover though. After will be a brief cooler spell to end the third week. Temperatures will be initially up to the high teens and then up to low 20s towards the third weekend, 18th and the 19th, but it stays very, very changeable. There may be some rain in some places, dry sunny moments in other places, so very changeable third weekend. Then the fourth week of July, weather stays a bit changeable, but I think for some places, particularly most likely in central and southern areas, probably the driest and brightest of the weather you'll get. Towards north and western areas, maybe not so lucky. Towards the fourth week of July, we continue clearly. Weather stays a little bit mixed. I think probably when we get some dry days, temperatures actually could be quite warm. We may get temperatures not far off mid-20s once again. But when we get some wet days, possibly when low pressure is close by for a time, temperatures actually could struggle. We may just get temperatures into the high teens at best, so could be a theme of northwesterlies and then southwesterly themes, or vice versa, towards the fourth week of July. So pressure's not going to be overly too high nor overly too low. So a bit breezy though. So jet stream will pretty much be near slap bang over us, or just close to. But certainly no major heat wave towards the fourth week of July. It's likely to be on a very mixed note. The final weekend of July, maybe for a time, pressure may rise once again, according to AccuWeather, so we may get some brief drier weather for most places. Temperatures may be recovering a little bit to lower to possibly close to mid-20s towards the final weekend of July. But as we go into the last weekend of July, the jet stream possibly could sink further south, and then by the end of July, the weather stays, well, not stays, it's actually going to be turning quite a bit cooler and quite a bit wetter. So some heavy rain or showers for the last week of July. There will be some dry spells. It's going to be quite a bit windy as well, a bit unusual possibly for the last week of July. Temperatures really going to struggle possibly. High teens, maybe low 20s on occasional days, but it's certainly not going to be a nice end to July as I predict at the moment. Now obviously these come from AccuWeather, and obviously the predictions aren't always right, but this is the likely outcome, because there was always going to be some uncertainty about data, but it is likely, considering that the heatwave we've been having, it's very unlikely to have another major heatwave towards the month of July, when we're going to get several days of it, and also because of the warm spring we've had. To continue the constant warm thing is going to be, like I said, quite unlikely for it to occur, I'm afraid. So expect a more changeable July. There will be some dry, warmer spells, probably most likely third week, but there will be some wetter and windier spells, particularly towards the end of July and at the very beginning of July. But we will get some sunny days, and there will be some warm days to be enjoyed. But it's not going to be as hot as you probably would be expecting. So anyways, guys, that's the outlook for July 2020. Thank you very much for watching. If you agree with me, you can give it a like. If you don't agree with me, if you want to dislike, go ahead. But like I said, no nasty comments, please. I will not tolerate those, and you may be blocked if you post one of those. So think before you do that, please. And then other than that, hope you all have a fantastic week, and there'll be more videos to come soon. There will also be, I'm going to be planning to upload the planning for GCSE Maths video for you, more detail on that next video. And then I'm also going to try and get the solar eclipse announcement video that I actually did back in April but never got a chance to upload it for obvious reasons. More detail will also come on that very soon, so you might want to keep an eye out for these uploads. So I'm now starting to get those uploads pretty much back into business now since the main lockdown's over. And other than that, guys, like I said, stay safe as always, but have a great week if you can, or whatever time you're watching this, I don't care. And like, comment, subscribe. Getting closer to 500 subs, let's keep it going. Alright guys, Storm Snow out.